welcome to Community Connections. I'm your host, City Administrator Brian Anderson. And with us today we have Mayor John Jasinski. Today we're going to talk about the Community Vision 2040 plan that will be before the City Council for adoption. And Mayor, just want to get started on the Community Vision plan as to why did the City Council want to do a Community Vision in the first place?
Well, I think the whole council thinks it's important to see where we want to go in the future and really have everybody on board with what we want to do, get the input from the community. So what's important, the community as well as the council and the community leaders of really where we want to go in the future. And again, we've talked about 25 years backwards, 25 years forward. It's an important document that will allow the next city councils and the next mayor and the next administrators to really see what they want for the next 25 years. Not that we hope you're not here in 25 years, Brian, but we want to set up a document that we all know what's going to happen, and we're on the same course, and I think we'll get a lot more results by doing that.
Right. Now, why a community vision and why 2040? Why not a Faribault vision?
Well, as many people know, obviously in the community, we have lakes around here, we have parks, we have the Riverbend Nature Center, we have Cicada Park, and it's the whole community and what's important to the whole community. Because a lot of people, may not live inside the corporate limits of Faribault, but they live outside the limits, but they do all their business in town, or they, all those things, the important things are done in town. So it's the outskirts, and Faribault's population at 23,000 is much understated because it's really about 40,000 that it serves here in Faribault because of the lakes and things like that.
Right. And then the 2040, so we're looking 25 years into the future. Now we had state demographer Susan Brower come down, and she was talking and taking a look 25 years back, and some of her examples that she was giving is that our population was actually 37% less back in 1990. So if you can imagine, that's another 37% maybe moving forward in 2040 and on what that's going to look like. And then the other items too is we were predominantly 96% white. Currently right now we are 75% white, so there's a big demographic change right there. We are a younger community today than we were 25 years ago. The other item too that we have to address for the reason for the vision plan too was currently the city of Faribault is below state standards when it comes to income and educational attainment. So that's one thing that we wanted to address through the Community Vision 2040 plan. Now we hired a consultant. We did not do this ourselves, and then we put together a steering committee as well. Can you describe why we wanted to hire a consultant for this? What was the purpose of that?
Well, I think an outside looking coming in and someone professional that does this has worked in other communities and has the process to go through to get to get your result you want. So I think that we picked a very good choice, pretty reasonable price, compared to some of that we had some price from very high to lower. So this was a good value for what we got, I believe. So
we did interview about 4 different consultants, and we went with Craig Rapp, former city administrator in his previous life, but he's done a number of these for other cities too. So I agree with you. I think we got a good value for what we got. Now, we did have the process we went through. We did have a couple hundred residents participate. Businesses also participated in this too.
We had lots
so there's a great effort on behalf of the city because we really, again, wanted this to be about the community. So we wanted everybody's input regardless of what they thought. That's what we were really looking for. So we did a number of surveys that went out too. We had 15 meetings in a box, and those were basically community meetings.
And a neighborhood could set one up, or a certain group, or the Kiwanis, or the Exchange Club. Anybody can set those up. I just want to go back a little bit because the steering committee, we kind of breezed over that, but the steering committee was very important, and that's kind of bringing a certain diversity of different people. So from the education to schools, to churches, to business, to industry, all those things. So we got a steering committee put together that had very good individuals on that really represented a good core of what happens in Faribault.
Now they're the ones that took all the information that came from the surveys, the meetings in a box, the community forums, the focus groups, took all that information, sifted through it, and then they came up with community values was the first item, and we have 5 community values. The first one was a sense of community, and that's really more of a feeling about what you get when you're within Faribault.
That small town feel people call, or big city opportunity. It's just the feel of what Faribault is well known for. It's that small town feel. I think it's the best way to explain it.
Sense of belonging.
Yep, sense of belonging. Yep.
And then the second one was a sense of place. Now that has to do with all of our iconic architecture in town, the churches, a lot of institutions that we have, and our historic downtown that we have. Those are some of the big ones that came up with a sense of place. Plus, I also think that they like all the services that we provide. We have an aquatic center, we have a library that we maintain as well, great public facilities.
Yeah, a lot of positive things. And again, people in Faribault really, you sit down and come into a meeting and start thinking about all the positives.
Right.
We have a lot of things like that. It's a huge number. So it's exciting, to get together and talk about that, because again, a lot of people seem to get negative on things about Faribault. But really, Faribault is a great place. They have lots of things to offer. You look at some of the iconic, as you said, the Woolen Mills, Faribault Foods, Shattuck. There's just a ton of things out there.
Right. Another one that was brought up, the third item, was opportunity. Can you describe, if you recall from the steering committee in the discussion, what that would relate to?
I think our big opportunity is a diverse manufacturing base. We're located on 35, just 40 minutes south of the metro, which is a huge thing. A lot of people can come in Faribault and live cheaper and have all those amenities 40 minutes away. So I think that was the big opportunity. And just the business that we have here with all the distribution and Faribault Foods and Sage, we just have a ton of opportunity out there for businesses to expand, and other businesses are located near them. So I think that was the gist of I-35 south of the metro with all the industry we have is our opportunity.
Right. Innovation was the fourth one that was on there too. Innovation has to do with flexibility, creativity, throwing out all ideas, prioritizing the ideas and going from there. And the last one was excellence, and I believe that they were talking about anything that's worth doing is worth doing well. Let's continue to move forward, and if we're going to do a museum in the downtown, let's do a great museum in the downtown. And if we're going to provide incentives and be serious about maybe a new industrial park or expanding the industrial park, it's time to get serious, and let's do that again. Now, the other items, was there anything that surprised you, I guess? I mean, you've been lived here your whole life, obviously, except for the short stint that you went to serve our country, but is there anything that surprised you, or do you think the core values really...
I think the core values are what I always expect. It's nice to get that reaffirmment of, that's what other people think as well as what I do. I mean, I've been involved in downtown, things like that. And the one thing that I got, I think really downtown is very important. A lot of times the industrial parks and the business and the manufacturing kind of takes care of itself. It's kind of industry driven, but downtowns are unique because of what's happened with retail in recent years and the internet and things like that. A lot of downtowns like Faribault, just like Faribault, other communities are doing the same thing. You really have to kind of reinvent, and a lot of times as my other business, when I come in relocating businesses here and things, and the important things to them is they'll bring their family downtown and things like that. They have to get a good feel, and I think what's really come out of this visioning thing is really people believe that we need to have a vibrant downtown to make everything else work, to make the industry want to come to town, to all those things. So some people think, you just think about downtown, but really downtown plays a key role in all those other things because they want that downtown feel, that vibrant downtown that makes them a sense of place. They want that.
And I think a lot of cities and towns have either let their downtowns die, or they're trying to create a downtown, and they don't have a historic downtown like what we have. And it came out too during this whole process that 78% of the residents that participated thinks that the city needs to start investing more than what they have in the past into areas such as the downtown to make that a better place. So the final item that you're going to read about in the Community Vision 2040 plan are the strategic priorities, and underneath the priorities are the goals that we're going to have to obtain our priorities. So with that, we have 6 strategic priorities, and the first one that we have is thriving economic development. We already touched on that a little bit. Some of the items that came out are identify target markets, maybe be more proactive in recruiting businesses here. Better paying jobs is another item that came out of that too. Absolutely. Develop business incentives, expand regional partnerships, and I know again that's why we call this a community vision, so we can think more regionalism. And then develop the comp plan, and a comp plan is something that we're going through right now. We're just starting scratching the surface. Yep. Absolutely.
And this led into this really good. So the timing of this visioning really leads in good to the comprehensive plan to see what is important in the vision gets relayed into the comprehensive plan.
And that was by design of the council that we were going to do this and continue on with the comp plan. Excellent schools and education. That was a big priority of what came out of the community vision too, and it's to strengthen and celebrate our educational systems. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know, but we do have 5 high schools here in the city of Faribault, so we want to participate, be active in each one of those as the best we can, promote our educational systems that we have. and really recognize education as the quality of life, the foundation that we need to do to bring in better jobs and to educate people so they can get those better jobs here in the city.
Industry's coming to town. They look at, what's the education like, what are the scores, things like that. So that's something that Faribault, is a little bit low on, and part of it is for several reasons. It's some of the income levels, the diversity of those things. But we have to, work on that to increase that and get those higher levels. Again, we have great choices in Faribault. As you said, we have the 5 high schools and things like that, but we really need to keep working on that to educate our workforce to get better paying jobs and actually keep them right here in town instead of someone going off. A lot of times your kids will go off here and go off there. We want people to come here or stay here, and that's their important thing. So the better educated people you have, the better jobs you get, and the more people stay.
Right. The third one would be pride in our community, and I know you were on that subcommittee through the steering committee, personally on that one too, and it was to enhance public and private property as we go throughout the downtown. Now, we noticed a lot through the downtown last year. There were a lot of people that were putting paint on the facade of their building and fixing up their buildings and stuff too.
And again, part of that are building maintenance, and we've been doing inspections and things like that, and actually sending out letters to the downtown people to help encourage getting the properties looking better. So that's what we want to do as far as rental. Kind of ties into crime-free housing and all those rental registration, rental licensing, I should say now. So all those things to really get downtown enhanced and some of the other neighborhoods, and just to make Faribault look a little bit better, because again, it sometimes doesn't always look so bad, so good. So we want to enhance that and make that a much more appealing place for people to come and visit and want them to live here.
Yeah, and throughout all of Faribault for that matter too. So we're addressing that. One of the other items is to celebrate people, places, events that Faribault has to offer. We do have it on our website, the list of community activities that are going to be going on throughout the city. And I think currently right now we have close to 40 events. We've had that in the past too. We're trying to provide more information to people, whether tourists are coming to town or people currently live in town too, so you can find that information on our website. The fourth one is public safety. Now, one of the big items that struck me with this is the want to reduce crime by 20% by the year 2040. And we're currently making strides to go ahead and do that. We have a K-9 unit for the first time, I believe.
Yeah, we've had some new tools, and again, back to the 2008, 2009 levels, we had to lay a lot of people off. The taxes were low. We had to trim the budget. We got reductions in LGA. Well, all that's starting to come back a little bit now. So we can start restaff, getting our police force to full force, bringing on new tools like a police dog or the
crime-free multi-housing,
all those things. We have the new drug task force. Correct. So we've done a lot. Again, some of it's been delayed because of the recession in 2009. So now we're having those programs come back. Our tax base is increasing now, which creates more taxes for us to work with to put those programs out there. So I think it's an exciting time.
And we're already seeing dividends in those items that we have put that money towards. So it's going to take a little while for it to level off, but I think we're able to obtain that. And then to address mental health concerns. Unfortunately, I think our mental health through the state is a couple hundred miles away as far as people that do need the help. We have to transport them quite a way, so we're seeing if we can provide better mental health facilities here in the region for that. Fourth item is a hot topic too, was a vibrant downtown. We already talked about the downtown, but there's a number of items that go on with that as far as establishing anchor businesses, the appearance of the downtown, trying to enhance that. Again, a lot of businesses have currently already done that. Establish higher end residential in the downtown area too, so more people live downtown and they want to spend more money when they're in the downtown area. Create a museum in the downtown. I know we've had a couple of meetings with some stakeholders in town regarding that, so that continues to be in the works, and hopefully pretty soon we can unveil a plan for that.
Correct. I think that's one of the most exciting things of what we're working on right now, to see more people downtown, looking at what the living quarters and the densities and things like that, what type of housing versus, so I think that'll be exciting. Again, bringing some community partners in that will help us with that. And once we get people see some significant investment in downtown, I think the private side with the private investors are going to come in right behind. We're already seeing some of that now. We're seeing some buildings being bought up just here in May of 2015 that are really starting to see those signs of reinvestment and reinvesting, having money to invest, and it's really going to benefit us in the future.
Right. And then the last item on there too was access to nature, leisure, and the arts. Again, it was to enhance public facilities, promote community facilities. One of the big items under there too was to develop as a premier bicycling destination. Now I know we have the Cicada Trail that goes out, but we also have a couple other trails that we're trying trying to work with the DNR. I know our Park and Rec director has been active in getting additional trail funding for that. We currently have a trail going through Alexander right now, which is part of the bicycling trail. I know one of the items that came out big on our survey that we did was we do have a great park system, we do have a great trail system, and we want to go ahead and enhance that and even promote that so people can come down, use it, maybe stop at a restaurant, so on and so forth within town too. So
and we're working on a couple of those key links again. You said North Alexander and trying to get underneath the railroad, and those coming stages. A lot of that money is coming from grants from the state, so it's not costing us a lot of money of initial investment. Obviously, the council understands that we have to maintain it. So once we put it in, but that again, going through this visioning process, people get that input of really how important that is. And other communities are doing the same thing. I had a couple discussions with other mayors, and they're trying to do the same thing we're doing because they, we have to be like Faribault and have these trails. Well, and it is. It's a big quality of life people want.
Right. So, is there anything? What excites you about the community vision? We talked about the downtown and the museum and stuff, but were there any? What are some of the bigger picture items that you've heard about?
I do stick to the downtown. I think that's one of the important things that's going to set the tone for all those things, and to have that vibrant downtown. If you have a vibrant downtown and you have an industry that wants to come locate to Faribault and they come downtown and see that vibrant downtown, that's what attracts them here and brings them here. So I think seeing some of these multi groups of getting investment into downtown is important. We've had some great inquiries of other manufacturing companies looking at Faribault. We had one that missed for a reason that they went somewhere else, but they wanted to come to Faribault, and something happened, to their side of a foreclosure somewhere else where they could have got a cheaper property than they did. But really, they really like Faribault, and they think it's a great spot and a great location. Again, with that 40 miles south of the metro, it's a huge thing. So I think the whole downtown thing is going to be an important thing to see what happens. And again, as I said in our visioning, we can't be afraid to think too big. So we want something. It's back in 1940s when North Alexander got purchased, the whole city council got voted off because why are they buying something like that? And look what we have out there now. If you drive through North Alexander on a weeknight, Thursday night, and see the softball teams playing, and the aquatic center going, or the track and field, there's just so many things down there now. So we need to think like that for this next vision, the 24 in the future, what we can do and what we can change.
I put a couple slides together, if you will, I guess, to help our viewers at home, if I can zero in on this. So this is an item that you're going to find in the Community Vision 2040 plan. So here's the city working with the schools, the businesses, the nonprofits, and all the service clubs. And we did reach out to all of them throughout the course of the Community Vision Plan. And we also have up on top here now, within that circle, we have the visioning, then we go through the planning stage, prioritizing, budgeting, and then measuring our results to see how effective we were. And when all that comes together, we have success in the middle, I guess. Can you tell me what you see when you look at this, Mayor? Just getting your thoughts here on any comments or anything?
I'm afraid to answer that.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll take the next one here, I guess, then. So here again, we have the strategic priorities that we currently discussed. We have the 6 items listed here, then we have the 20 goals that we have listed out. Now, within each goal, we have initiatives listed out underneath there, and this can be found, again, on our website too. So all the items we currently discussed, and I think it's going to be exciting as we go through here, because the council and the community as a whole is going to have a great chance to go through, help prioritize and help make these a reality.
Absolutely.
So back over to you. Do you recognize this individual?
Yeah, that was me in about 11th grade.
That was you in about 11th grade, huh?
How do I look?
So you admit that. Can you explain one other thing then as to where along the line why you would have changed your name to Jeff Jasinski?
I don't know.
Is there anything you're trying to hide or what you want to share with us? No?
If you actually read the article, I had my name correct, but the guy that did
so it's not your fault. That's what you're telling us. Okay.
That's really good.
Well, one item I'd like to wrap up with too. Now, you and I are going to be taking a trip to Germany. It's our sister city that we've been celebrating for over 65 years. There's 12 other delegations beside ourselves. And with that, we're going to be celebrating the Mozart Festival over there.
It's their biggest event in their city, Yep,
absolutely. And
it's like a Heritage Days for them. It's their Mozart Fest, and much bigger. Actually, the city of Würzburg is about the size of St. Paul. So
yeah, it's under 25,000. Yep, absolutely. And then with that, they celebrate about 50 to 60 concerts that they have, classical concerts that they have within that month too. So that's going to be quite the experience for us, really, I think. And there's going to be so many things to see walking around through Würzburg to take in. I guess they got great architecture, obviously, the arts and the culture. So I think there's going to be a lot of things to take back, and I'm pretty excited about the trip.
Very interesting history on the whole World War II, and us sending packages over there and care for them. It's, if you really should somehow search it on online or on Google or something. It's very interesting if you look at it, and just learning more and more as we're we're going over there trying to educate myself, I
Right.
find myself trying to read more and more. It's just
Right.
a lot of neat information out there.
Fascinating. So what we're going to have on our website is you're going to find the itinerary on our website, but you can also follow us on Facebook too about the daily events that the mayor and I will be undertaking, so you can kind of get a feel for where we are and what we're doing. And then once we get back to, we're going to do a bigger program project, so everybody can kind of read about what we saw and our experiences over there. So that's all I have time for today. Next time we're going to be talking with Tim Murray, our city engineer, on construction updates, and we're going to also be talking with Finance Director Carla McCall, and she's going to be giving us an insight on our new website that we have. And I understand that you got to see what the homepage is going to look like. So
all the council got the input on that, and we're very excited about what that'll come up. Much more user-friendly, and ours hasn't been updated for a while, so it's going to be great.
Yep. So until then, thank you for joining us.